Blue Ridge Hospice thrift shops are bigger and better than ever, with a new and expanded site at one of our 2 Winchester locations and our 6 well-established boutiques across the area. Blue Ridge Hospice thrift shops attract bargain hunters, treasure seekers, collectors, and antiquers. Mention this ad on your next shopping trip and receive a 10% discount. Blue Ridge Hospice thrift shops gratefully accept your donations, including electronics and furniture. For locations, hours, and information on how to donate, please visit blueridgehospice.org.
The Shark Deck.
I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Came across an article on cracked.com that asks a wonderful question about Seinfeld, which is Elaine hot? Now, we're not talking about Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's absolutely gorgeous. We are talking about Elaine Benes. And I love this question. Cracked asks, is Elaine canonically hot? If she is, why is she hanging out with these dorks? Is she a hot woman doing dorky things? Or is she a dorky woman who happens to be extremely hot? They also ask, are hotness and dorkiness mutually exclusive? There's an episode in season 7, The Secret Code, more commonly known as the Bosco episode, in which Elaine pursues a man who can't seem to remember her. Crack says if Elaine is an average-looking woman, then her forgettability is one thing. No one likes to be forgotten. But if she is as she appears to be stunning, then her pursuit of Fred, an aggressively below-average man, is much funnier. Elaine isn't a woman clawing her way up to win the affection of a man. She's a beautiful woman, sinking to subterranean depths. Cracked writes, here's some evidence that Elaine wasn't created specifically as a beautiful woman, but an appealing every gal. Before Elaine became Elaine, there was Claire, who's a down-to-earth waitress who filled in as the woman in the pilot. Yeah, there's no Elaine in the pilot. When the role was reconceived, Rosie O'Donnell was among those considered. The character is rumored to be based on Seinfeld writer Carol Leifer. It seems that when Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David considered a female character for the foursome, they didn't want her hotness to be paramount. Perhaps this is why Seinfeld's men regularly acted like Elaine was at best average-looking. Some of this is explained by the whole setup. Jerry had dated Elaine, and they were both mature enough to continue a platonic friendship. George and Kramer, code of the guys. You would respect that. You wouldn't go after Elaine. That makes total sense to me. Crack points out, had it gone in the direction of Jerry and friends being attracted to Elaine, Seinfeld would be more like Friends, or maybe The Big Bang Theory. The show's chemistry would have been altered. Jennifer Kelshin Armstrong is a Seinfeld expert who says, I could tell you this, which is that I know the writers made it clear that they were not doing that. That in question was a will they or won't they type of tension between Jerry or any of the men and Elaine. The network was always harassing them to create a Sam and Diane on Cheers type of thing with Elaine and Jerry, and they finally said, no, we're not doing that. We're not a normal sitcom. Okay, how about the overwhelming proof that Elaine is really pretty? Some examples. All 3 men snap out of it in season 3's The Tape when Elaine records a sexy message on Jerry's tape recorder. Also in season 4's The Shoes and season 7's The Gum, other men are so distracted by Elaine's attractiveness that they forget what they're supposed to be doing. Perhaps the clearest confirmation that Elaine is canonically beautiful is by the transitive property of the men she dates. Here's the Jerry theory. Jerry only dates beautiful women throughout the span of the show. There have been a reported 73 different women that Jerry dated, and they've been played by Lauren Graham, Kristen Davis, Courtney Cox, Marlee Maitland, Terry Hatcher, among others. Elaine dated Jerry, therefore Elaine is beautiful. All right, that makes sense. How about the law of Patti? Patti, who presents as a hunk, would never date a woman that wasn't physically beautiful. Patti dates Elaine, hence Elaine is beautiful. Then there's the famous man thesis. In Seinfeld's New York City, men are constantly dating women out of their league. The implication is that the women are settling. The dating pool in this universe is advantageous towards men. The exception to the rule are people like JFK Jr. and Keith Hernandez, who are implied to be the catch. They're so famous, especially in New York City, they could date anyone, and both of them are just in it Elaine. What do you think? Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast group, would love your thoughts. Now, let's see, Seinfeld, what years were Seinfeld? Seinfeld was 89 to 98, so in 89, I'm 20. And in 89, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is around 28. As I watched the show, I liked earlier season regular girl Elaine. Towards the end of the series, she glams up a little bit, and that's just kind of how I roll it in real life. And I remember we used to hang out at a bar called Sidetracks in Queens, and there was a woman we had dubbed the Elaine waitress. She had that same kind of big hair that Elaine has in the early episodes. We love the Elaine waitress. Anyway, what do you think? Obviously, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Gorgeous. Have you seen pictures of her lately? Fantastic. Move on, John. Pete Davidson. has been wearing Uggs lately. His stylist Britt Theodora told GQ Pete Davidson is even getting custom pairs made because they don't make fun colors in men's sizing. And guess who has influenced Pete Davidson to wear Uggs? That's right, Adam Sandler. Pete says, I'm a big Sandler fan. I think Sandler is like 10 years ahead of everyone on fashion, and he wore Uggs a lot in the early 2000s. According to Pete Davidson, there's some sort of, you don't give a hoot attitude that comes with wearing Uggs. It's very powerful. You go grocery shopping or you go to the movies, you go out of your house in Uggs. That's cool, man. Just for Laughs is coming back to Toronto for 2023. That is a great festival. You guys often hear me talk about Montreal. I did the Toronto one time, and I really loved it. If you want to take my advice and go see less famous comedians in bar settings, Toronto is fantastic for that. September 21st through the 30th, some of the names announced: Andrew Schulz, Leslie Jones, Jonathan Van Ness, Nicole Byer, Marlon Wayans, Ronny Chieng, Ron Funches, Patti Harrison, Chris Redd, Neal Brennan. Wow. Oh, there's more. I just needed to breathe. Michelle Wolf, Mark Forward, Rory Scovel, Joe DeRosa, Dulcé Sloan, Jessica Kirkson, Morril, Tom Papa, Jim Norton, Michelle Buteau, Joanne McNally, Drew Lynch, and more. Wow, the Office ladies are going to be there. And there will be a Napoleon Dynamite screening and Q&A. JFL Toronto, September 21st through the 30th. Sounds fantastic. The folks over at Fireball Dragon Reserve know a slow news week when they see one, so they put out a press release suggesting you get some of their bourbon for your dad for Father's Day. How did they trick Johnny Mack into talking about this? They pulled out Rob Riggle and said, just like Fireball, Rob Riggle is known for bringing laughs and spicing up anything he touches. It was a no-brainer to make him our honorary master distiller for Dragon Reserve. His deadpan delivery and rebellious, irreverent personality was the perfect combination to bring this anything but boring product to life. That's right, Rob Riggle, crowned the first honorary Fireball master distiller. In his highly coveted role, Rob Riggle helped shape the final result of Dragon Reserve through rigorous product testing. The result, says Riggle, absolute fire. Well done, press team. The LA Times had a lengthy article about how much are comedians getting paid, and I'm not talking about Pete Davidson or Dave Chappelle, I'm talking about your rank-and-file working comedian. Megan Koester has been grinding in the LA comedy scene for several years. She said, I absolutely do not make a living doing comedy. Occasionally I'll get paid for a college gig or a part in a SAG ultra-low-budget production, but you couldn't even buy a 2001 Toyota Tercel with the amount of money I generate yearly from comedy. I wonder how much a Tercel is. Oh yeah, I'm Googling it. Of course I am. All right, I went on one of those used car websites. 2001 Toyota Corolla LE. Price, $79.90. Great value. There was an accident reported. I don't want that one. I want one with no accidents. Let me go down. Here's one. A 2001 Toyota Corolla LE, $69.98. No accident or damage reported. It's got 87,000 miles on it, which is not a lot at all for a 20-something-year-old car. But as usual, I digress. Derek Brown opens at sold-out headliner shows on the road and says he brings in about $500 per show. If I'm headlining or featuring around LA, the pay is usually $20. Megan Koester says when you have 3 jobs and crippling debt, you literally can't afford to stay up until 3 a.m. every night pretending to respect an agent. I mostly sell trash I acquire for free on eBay. I'm a garbage woman. LA comedian writer Ellery Smith says the swings are huge between year to year. I'll make anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a year on comedy. Wow. The official poverty line, according to the IRS, is far above that. So Ellery moonlights as a babysitter, copywriter, or even working at a shady donut shop. I wonder what a shady donut shop is. She says $30,000 to $40,000 would change everything for me. The UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, is under new ownership, and they're trying to change things. They have worked out that all shows are paid the same, which is a 50-50 split after house recoupment, which is 45 tickets sold for every show regardless of ticket price. But the LA Times says, note, any show could have anywhere from 2 to 50 performers, which means pay could range from $6 to $50 per performer, depending on the ticket sales. One of the suits at the theater says the goal here is the theater does not lose money. That'll always be the only goal for the theater. There's no way you're going to make money on this theater. It's just impossible. Stand-up Jay Light has worked his way up the ladder in the LA comedy scene, earning a credit on the Comedy Central version of Roast Battle. He says he currently owns $7,000 to $10,000 annually doing comedy. Yet, stand-up has helped him get gigs writing for reality competition shows, including MasterChef, MasterChef Junior, and Domino Masters. That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. And if you're on YouTube, smash the like button. See you tomorrow.
Blue Ridge Ridge Hospice thrift shops are bigger and better than ever, with a new and expanded site at one of our 2 Winchester locations and our 6 well-established boutiques across the area. Blue Ridge Hospice thrift shops attract bargain hunters, treasure seekers, collectors, and antiquers. Mention this ad on your next shopping trip and receive a 10% discount. Blue Ridge Hospice thrift shops gratefully accept your donations, including electronics and furniture. For locations, hours, and information on how to donate, please visit blueridgehospice.org.